Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Long time no talk. I have not uploaded in about a week, which is probably the longest break I've ever taken, which it doesn't seem like that long of a time, but for me, a week of no uploads is definitely not like me. So today's video is going to be a really relaxed video, and I'm going to kind of explain why I took my break and what's been going on. I've been like radio silent on Instagram as well, so I thought I would jump on here really quickly and kind of explain what's going on and let you guys know that we are okay, the boys are okay, I'm okay, but I really just needed the week off. So this past week things kind of took a turn for, I wouldn't say the worst because it by no means was unbearable, but the past few weeks, except for this last one, things had seemed to be getting easy. My days were predictable, like I mentioned. I was following the Taking Care of Babies Newborn Sleep class, and things were going really well. I felt really confident, and I felt like I had my days back, and the nights weren't terrible. Well, this last week, I don't know if the boys went through a growth spur, a wonder week, something, but this past week it was difficult to say the least. The boys were super clingy. All they wanted to do was to be held. They were fighting their naps. They were unsatisfied after feeding on me, and I wasn't really getting much sleep. The nights had taken a turn, and it seemed like we were struggling to even get 2 hours out of them, which is not like them. It was not like them, and so it was a real challenge for Harris and I, and there were many nights last week that we got next to no sleep, which really took its toll on me. I would have to say yesterday was the absolute worst. I actually wound up having a really bad anxiety attack, which I have not had one of those and I can't even tell you how long. And I definitely think the lack of sleep coupled with the just anxiety in general that I've been feeling towards taking care of the boys, which I don't know if that sounds bad, but I've had anxiety taking care of the boys this past week. It has been a lot, especially with them wanting to be held and soothed and comforted. It is difficult when there's only one of you and there's two babies and you physically can't do it, or it's more difficult to do it. And I felt like I was spreading myself very thin. And so yesterday I had an anxiety attack, and it really put a lot of things into perspective for me. I've realized that for my sake and the boys' sake, that I have to cut back on breastfeeding. And I say cut back and not stop because I really want to at least feed them, like nurse them in the morning at the very, very least. But this past week, with them not being satisfied after feeding on me for 30 plus minutes, I've realized that even though I'm doing things to try and get my supply up, it's just not up to where it needs to be. And for my sanity and for their health and their sake, I need to relinquish the control. I can't control that my milk is not where it needs to be, and I need to trust my body and what it's telling me, and it's telling me that I need to cut back on breastfeeding and I need to give them bottles, which I know it's not the end of the world. I know moms everywhere give their children formula and it's not horrible. Jack just farted. It's not horrible, but if you are a nursing mom, you can probably relate with me when I say the guilt that I have stopping breastfeeding is insane. I feel like I'm failing myself as well as failing them. I feel like I had this goal of at least 12 weeks, and because they're only 7 weeks old, I'm failing because I could not reach that 12-week mark, which I know my feelings are valid, and I know a lot of moms out there feel this. They feel this mom guilt. They feel this guilt when they need to stop breastfeeding. I know it's completely normal, but because Harris can't relate, it's hard for me to relay how I feel, and so I feel very alone in how I feel, and so that's why I feel like it's necessary for me to come on here and make this short video and kind of explain what's been going on and tell you guys how I feel, because there has to be at least some of you out there who have felt what I've felt, and I do think I need words of encouragement right now to help me. I think it is a decision that has to be made, like I said, for their sake and for my sake. This decision has to be made, and I need to come to terms with it, and I need to, like my friend Catherine said, I need to grieve this decision. I'm making the decision to cut down on breastfeeding, and I need to know that this decision is hard and feel sad about it, but at the end of the day, I need to do it and I need to move on. So this week, it's going to be a transition week for myself and for the boys. Now, we have introduced formula in the past, and this past week, we were giving them formula at night to help satisfy them because, like I said, they weren't really satisfied off of my milk. So they've taken bottles and they've had formula, but I feel like part of their fussiness this past week might have been the formula we were giving them. So we are trying out a few different formulas. If you guys have any recommendations of formulas that your baby has tried and it seemed to have worked, I feel like they do have quite a bit of gas, and like I said this past week, it was extreme fussiness. So I don't know if it's attributed to my milk or to the formula or to my supply. Like, there are so many factors that have played into this past week that it's really hard to rule things out, but I think the first thing that I need to come to terms with is my milk supply and my ability to breastfeed. I have to kind of be confident and proud of myself that I made it 7 weeks nursing twins, because nursing one baby is hard sometimes, and so I did make it 7 weeks with twins, and I need to be proud of that. But at the same time, because I had this 12-week goal, I feel like I'm failing myself and I feel like I'm failing them. A lot of it has to do with me pumping and seeing that my supply is not where it needs to be. I pump for 20 plus minutes, and sometimes I only get like 2 ounces out. So I know at least some of last week has to do with my supply, because I'm just not seeing the amount of milk come out that probably should be at this point with me of nursing 7 weeks. So I just need to be okay with this. So this past week has been hard, to say the least. It's been emotionally draining, physically draining, exhausting. I got decent sleep last night and I was able to nap this morning, and I think that's why I feel good and I feel okay enough to come on camera. And as horribly as I look and as tired as I look, I needed to come on here and to say something and to explain where I've been and to reach out to the community that I have built for words of support and words of encouragement. So this past week has been hard. There's been a lack of sleep, a lot of anxiety, a lot of, self-reflect on my ability to be a mother. And I've come to terms within the past 24 hours that I need to be confident in my ability to be a mother to these boys. I've done it for 7 weeks, and I need to be confident in my decision to switch to a more formula-based diet for them. And I'm still going to nurse them in the mornings. I feel like for me, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but nursing them and seeing the look in their eyes when they're feeding off of me and them knowing like my mom is giving me this nourishment is so satisfying. And it's not that I don't get that feeling giving them a bottle. I think that I'm so bonded to them, and so I'm not worried about not being bonded to them, but I am sad that I'm going to lose out on that time of bonding. So I'm going to try nursing at least the first feed of the morning right before we get up for the day. That is our special time. Every morning we lay in bed together and I talk to them and I read to them, and it's so special. So I definitely want to continue to nurse right before that time. And I might try to nurse, one afternoon feeding, and, to get that bonding time with them. And the rest from there is going to be formula fed. And I think aside from taking the pressure off myself to be breastfeeding, it is good because now Harris can help more, because there's only so much that Harris can do when I'm nursing them. He can't nurse them. So this gives him the opportunity to help me more and to make me feel less like I'm doing so much. So I really just want to jump on here and kind of explain where I've been, where my head's at, and where I'm going moving forward. I definitely want to get content up for you guys, and I'm going to try my best to get back to that. I forgot to mention, my mom is actually flying in today to stay for a little bit of time to kind of help me recoup and, you know, support me during this transitional period and help me get back to where I need to be mentally, physically, with sleep, everything like that. So my mom is coming and she's flying in today, but I do want to get back to posting videos for you guys and content that I love. The last vlog I posted, I absolutely loved that video. And, you know, the few videos before that were not my best work, but the last video I posted, I'm really happy about, and I really want to post content that I love moving forward. So hopefully this is a clean slate for me, and kind of voicing how I feel to you guys and getting this all out there is going to help me wipe everything clean and start fresh and get back to where I need to be. So I'm sorry for the lack of uploads. I hope you guys understand. If you are a mom out there and can relate with me or anything like that, can give me words of encouragement, I really need those now. And I hope you guys are supportive and appreciate me opening up and being completely honest about where I've been and what's been going on. So I'm good. The boys are healthy. Benny's asleep. Jack's dozing off. He's doing a few grunts over there, but the boys are doing great. I'm going to get back to where I need to be the best mom that I can be for them, and I will be posting more content shortly. So I hope you guys enjoy this really relaxed, kind of chatty update, and with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.